Assalamualaikum students, I hope you all are well, safe and healthy at home. Welcome back in this class of Semantics, and your course instructor Fazana Khan is here with another topic, politeness. Well, what is the concept of politeness in pragmatics? What is the theory of politeness and what are the strategies of politeness? This is what you are going to learn in today's class. So pay close attention to the lecture to understand the concept of politeness and pragmatics. First of all, let me tell you the important points. The introduction of politeness. The theory of politeness has been formulated in 1978, but later on it has been revised by Brown and Levinson in 1987. Politeness is interlocutors' desire to be pleasant to each other through a positive manner of addressing. Actually, politeness is not only the insertion of mere thank you and please. It's a conversation style, and although the expectations related to politeness means both the person, the speaker and listener, who want to be present and they desire to be pleasant to each other. This is politeness. So the gist of politeness is the intention to mitigate the certain face-threatening acts towards others. So politeness is the intention of the speaker and listener to reduce the intensity of all the face-threatening acts towards the others. Face-threatening acts actually not the means having direct threat to other person. It is actually related to the concept of conversation, that how are you talking to other person, and when you are going to violate the desire of other person, it means you are going to you are going to use the face-threatening acts for other person. So the theory of politeness is based on interlocutors have face which they consciously project in front of others, and they try to protect and preserve their face. Face here doesn't mean your actual face. Here face means the self-identity, the self-projection, the self-image of speaker and listener. So all these points and terms I'll explain one by one in this lecture. So let me tell you what is politeness. So according to Brown and Levinson, everyone has a self-public image which has relation to emotional and social sense of self and expects everyone else to recognize. So this self-public image is actually face. So this theory forms a term of face. So face is not your actual face, it's actually your self-image in front of others and what you want to project. So you want to build a positive self-image in front of others for yourself, and you have the awareness of the self-image of others. This is politeness. So politeness in interaction can be defined as the means employed to show awareness of another person's face. Means first of all, the awareness of your own face, what you want to project. Definitely you want to project yourself positively in front of others. At the same time, awareness of others' self-image is overall called politeness. During the interaction and conversation, it's important for you that you must be well aware about the self-image of the other person, and this is what you will understand through the conversation. So awareness of the self-image of others and your own building self-image in front of others during the conversation is called politeness. So the notion of politeness in pragmatics, the study of politeness involves various domains, namely pragmatics, stylistics, sociolinguistics, conversational analysis, and ethnography of communication. Actually, politeness is related to conversation. It's related to communication. When two persons connect to each other and they start communication to each other, at that time they do project their face image and they do get awareness about the self-image of other persons, and during that conversation they go for positive, negative, politeness, and they go for self-threatening and face-threatening and face-saving acts. So it's all about the conversation. And communication and conversation has its style. It is a social phenomenon. And in society, we do communicate, and communication always requires for understanding and for interpretation. It requires context. That's why we can say that it falls in the domain of pragmatics, stylistic, sociolinguistics, conversational analysis, and ethnography of communication. For some researchers, for some scholars, it falls within the domain of pragmatics. But according to others' point of view, it is a sociolinguistic phenomenon. So Thomas defines politeness as a genuine desire to be pleasant to others. In this way, different point of views have been given by different authors related to the concept of politeness. According to Holmes, it's actually being linguistically polite involves speaking to people appropriately in the light of relationship, means talking to other person, keeping in mind the relationship of other persons. And according to Fairclough, politeness is based on the recognition of differences of power, degree of social distance. Again, politeness is actually the awareness of the self-image of other person, and that self-image definitely relate to power and social distance as well. So what is politeness theory? An influential model of politeness is based on the notion of face, according to Brown and Levinson. They do say that people have a universal desire to be treated with politeness. Definitely everyone wants to be treated well, treated with respect, right? So according to Brown and Levinson, people have a universal desire to be treated well, to be treated politely. They expect from other person a polite behavior. So people have negative face and positive face. And negative face is actually your desire to be unimpeded in your actions, means uninterrupted, without any control, without limitation, without imposition. You want freedom of action. And you also have positive face. And positive face desire for identification with community. It requires respect, acknowledgement, it requires appreciation. Means, according to this theory, people have universal desire to be treated well. And for this purpose, they have two aspects, the negative face and positive face. In negative face, they have desire of freedom, and in positive face, they want to be connected with other persons, but they want that other person admire them, other person appreciate them and acknowledge them and give them respect. These are the points of politeness theory, but let me explain one by one these points. First of all, the concept of face. As I told you that the theory of politeness, Brown and Levinson has coined the term of face. Face is not the actual face, it's actually the self-image. So each individual has a desired self-image, means each individual has their own self-image, means they want to present, which they want to project in front of others. And each individual has a way we want to be seen. So everyone has a self-image, right? So everyone has a desired self-image, means what they want to be presented in front of others, because it's natural desire. Everyone wants to be treated well. Everyone wants to be treated with respect and politeness. That's why they have a face, means they have self-image. Leave it what is their actual self-image, but what is their desire, what they want to project in front of other persons, right? This is called the face. For this purpose, what they want to be seen, mean how they project and what they expect from their desire, that what they expect, that if, for instance, if you are the listener and I am the speaker, what do you expect? What do you desire? What is your desired image which you want to project to me, and which you want that I just look towards that image and respond to you according to that image, because definitely everyone wants consider himself positive and wants a positive treatment from other person. So face is each individual has a desired self image. It's the self image, and definitely everyone wants positive self image. So it's the desired, what do you want, your expected self image. So politeness here is actually all about the face management. I mean, how do we manage face? It doesn't mean that how the person, the listener, like I have a face self-image and how do I manage? No, it will be managed by the speaker, the person who is talking to me. What do I expect and what the other person is talking to me? Brown and Levinson revised theory of politeness adopts the notion of face as a basis, which is a sociological term proposed by Goffman's theory of interpersonal communication. So Brown and Levinson's theory is actually based on field research which they have conducted on 3 languages, English, Tamil and Kazakh. So our concern is face management. So the notion of face is defined by Goffman as the positive social value a person effectively claims for himself by the line others assume, means by the conduct, behavior and conversation others assume he has taken during a particular contact, and your contact will definitely be through the communication. Face is an image of self-delineated, means self-projected, self-description in terms of approved social attributes. So according to Goffman, the concept of line refers to conduct or behavior. So face is your self-image, your desired self-image. I hope the concept of face is clear. Means face is your self-image, your desired image which you want to project in front of others, and you want to be treated according to that particular self-image, right? So according to Brown and Levinson, as everyone has their face, so their face has 2 aspects. Means everyone has negative face and positive face. So what is negative face? Negative face represents the claim, desire, demand to freedom of action and freedom from imposition. They don't want something to be imposed on them. They want freedom of action. So people want to be free from imposition, from limitation, from restrictions. They want choices. They want autonomy to make free choices. And positive face represents the desire for approval and appreciation. Means you need to be connected, at the same time you want the sense of belongingness with other person and to be accepted as a member of group. At the same time you want appreciation and respect from other person. So you have a self-image. Negative face, you want freedom. Negative face doesn't mean the negativity. It actually means you want freedom from the limitations, from the imposition. And positive face, actually you want approval from others. And when the speaker is trying to violate these 2 expectations, means you have these 2 expectations for your self-image. When the speaker is going to violate any of your expect, means speaker is saying something which is against these 2 expectations, that act will be called face threatening act towards you. Before moving towards the face threatening act and face saving acts, let me tell you about the positive and negative politeness. Positive politeness, it supports that positive politeness needs. It supports the positive face needs. Means positive face. What positive face demands? Positive face demands approval, appreciation, need to be connected, belongingness and accepted by the group members. So for instance, you want recommendations from other person and you are talking in a way. Here I ask you for recommendation because you are an expert. You are familiar with my work. I think you would be the perfect person, right? Here you are appreciating other person. So it's positive politeness. You are fulfilling the needs of positive face of the listener. Being the speaker, you are using positive politeness and you are fulfilling the requirements of the positive face. The positive face in the concept of in the domain of pragmatics, and this is called the positive face needs or positive face demands or positive face wants. So negative politeness. Negative politeness protects the negative face needs. For instance, same recommendation you want from other person and you are saying instead of this statement you are saying, I want to ask you for recommendation. Feel free to say no. I know you are busy. Means here you are given freedom of saying no to other person. There is no imposition, right? You are giving option choice to other person to say no. So here you are actually fulfilling the needs of negative face of other person, and you are using negative politeness. So Brown and Levinson proposes various strategies to perform the face-threatening acts which tackle an instance when an interlocutor's statement represents a threat to another interlocutor's expectation, thus threatens his face, means his self-image, his public image. In such a case, the interlocutor may utter an utterance to decrease the possible threat to his or her face, which is labeled as face-saving act. Let me tell you the face wants, as I already told you, the expectations which you demand from other person are regarding your self-image, or face needs or wants. Within their everyday social interactions, people generally behave as if their expectations concerning their public self-image or their face wants will be respected. Right? You have positive and negative face needs, face wants, which you want to be respected. Meanwhile, if some actions might be interpreted as a threat to another's face, whether it's positive or negative, so the speaker can say something to lessen the possible threat. This is called face-saving act. Means if the speaker is saying something which can be threatening to your expectations, desired, positive and negative face demands, but speaker is aware about your self-image, that's why speaker intentionally is trying to lessen, is trying to mitigate the direct attack on your face, on your self-image. So this will be called face-saving act, which will be used by the speaker towards the listener. If a speaker says something that represents a threat to another individual's expectation regarding self-image, it is described as face-threatening act. Means directly, without bothering, speaker is aware that it is going to direct attack on the expectation of the self-image of the listener, but he is going to use that sentence. So that can be face-threatening act. But if he is trying to lessen the intensity of that threat, that will be called face-saving act. Face-threatening act can be called speaker says something that represents a threat to another individual's expectation regarding self-image. And face-saving act can be described as speaker says something to lessen a possible threat to maintain a good self-image. Let me explain with example situation. For example, there is a situation, a young neighbor is playing loud music late at night. An older couple cannot sleep. So, if the older couple, one is saying that I'm going to tell him to stop that awful noise right now, that will be the face-threatening act. But if the speaker B is suggesting, perhaps you could just ask him if he is going to stop soon because it's getting a bit late and people need to get to sleep. Right? So here, the same statement is going to be said by the speaker. But the other speaker suggested that instead of saying this, if you say that, it would be better. So it's face-saving act. If it is going to be adopted by the speaker, so it will be the same face-saving act which will be used by the speaker towards the listener. I hope the points about face-saving acts, face-threatening acts, positive, negative face, and what is face is clear in your mind now. So now I'll tell you about the universal four strategies which are given by Levinson and Brown. They have divided into four strategies. Basically, according to them, there are four strategies, and further they have given 15 strategies of positive politeness, 10 strategies of negative politeness, and 15 strategies of off-record strategies. So here I'll explain only these four strategies, which are universal and basic four strategies barred on record. It is usually it doesn't attempt to minimize the threat to the hearer's face because it's a direct act. So with a barred on record strategy, the speaker will mostly likely embarrass and make the hearer uncomfortable due to addressing them directly or through direct command. Because here the speaker will violate the negative and both positive face demands or wants of the listener. So the speaker will not give option to negate the freedom to say no, and speaker will not going to appreciate. For instance, if the speaker is using imperative forms, phrases like "give me the bottle." So here in this statement, speaker has used the barred on record strategy because he has not fulfilled the negative face need or the positive face need. It can be a face-threatening act. So positive politeness. It seeks to establish a positive relationship between the parties. It respects a person's need to be liked and appreciated. And negative politeness, it makes requests less infringing and respect a person's right to act freely. Means it gives choice to say no. It gives freedom to the listener. An off-record strategy is indirect strategy. Here, the speaker will try to mitigate the intensity of the direct or threat. It uses indirect language and removes the speaker from the potential of being imposed. Right? So these four are the politeness strategies. Positive politeness, they have given the 15 positive politeness strategies, 10 negative politeness strategies, and 15 off-record strategies, which I'll explain in the next class. Well, to conclude, we can say politeness is a socio-pragmatic phenomenon. Right? Politeness theory is not universally valid since languages differ in their politeness scales and strategies, which may differ from one culture to another culture. Face saving forms the basis of politeness principles, and everyone's face depends on others' face saving to have one's face saved in return on the basis of politeness. Well, we can say the negative politeness is freedom of action, speech acts, and positive politeness is the sense of being connected and sense of appreciation from the speaker. It's all about today's class. I hope all the points are pretty clear. In your mind, in next class, I'll come up with further explanation of this theory. Well, here I'll wind up the session. Take care. Allah.